What is the first thing you think of when you hear the word bus? Some people might think transport, some might think vehicle. What if I was to tell you danger? As far as records show, the first bus crashed in 1906. This was named Handcross Hill Bus Crash. Bus driver H. Blakeman, accompanied by conductor F. Ewan, had a job to transport a total of 36 people to Handcross Hill. What should have been a safe journey turned bad. The bus got to the location a few minutes before 11 AM. When disaster struck, when the bus started going downhill, it picked up speed when the driver attempted to brake, but unfortunately, the gearbox shattered. Continuing to pick up speed, the bus crashed into a tree. This killed a total of 10 people, while 26 were left injured. Even to date, buses crash cause an unbelievable amount of casualties. Unfortunately, the mode of transport that is the most dangerous to buses are bikes. With that fact in mind, now I will be interviewing someone close to me who's had to deal with the aftermath of losing someone to an incompetent driver. This is my dad, and I will be interviewing him about the loss of his mother due to a bus driver. So, first question is, what are your opinions on public transport?
Before I drove, I used to take like the bus and trains, but it's alright as long as you got like decent people driving them, I suppose.
Okay, so the next question was, how did losing Nan affect you? And could you give the date?
So the date was the 18th of December. I think it was '02. And I used to be sort of like drinking, and now I was on medication as well. Mine. It took me a long time. I think it took about like 9 years. I think it did before I come to terms with it. But I didn't believe it really. Your nan was quite a sort of like a character. I think that's why it hurt. She used to go out drinking like on a Friday or a Saturday, and I used to go with her. Yeah, the location is like down Collie Lane.
Yeah.
What it is, she was sort of like, I think she done overtime. I think so. She used to work down like Penny Lane.
Yeah.
Used to work.
Yeah.
So she was driving. She was riding home, and that she had lights on her bike, and that she was going past the junction, and then he sort of like swung round.
Yeah.
So he swung round to the left. She went past. He reckoned he didn't see her, and dragged her under. So she went underneath.
Yeah.
Thing is, you have like people sort of like waving him down, saying, stop, what you've done and all that. Yeah, you think though, right? It's of course been years, but when I talk about it, it's still sort of like I still get like choked up, but not as bad as when it happened.
What would you say to a driver to prevent this from happening in the future?
Don't do overtime. If you do, then just rest up first and then go back to doing your work, whatever. It's because I think you do a lot of overtime, then you're going to get tired, especially the time you start and then the time you finish. And, you're constantly driving, mind. Your eyes do get tired, especially if I drive. Your eyes get flipping like really achy and tired. So I'd say don't do overtime for any reason why. I think it was like that bloke, he did it, but I think it was because it was a party. I think it's something like that to get more money, I suppose, because he was there. So, but yeah, it's just one of those things, though. But just don't do overtime, for God's sake.
Through my research, I have found the main causes of such tragic events, which are the following: mechanical issues with the bus, overworked drivers, natural disasters, incompetent drivers, and the general public. Too many buses crash. The safety of the public should be top priority. How come things like this even happen? I have a conclusion to this. I believe that companies need to pay attention to the well-being of their drivers, carry out health checks often so that drivers can operate with a clear mind. The buses themselves need to get checked for issues thoroughly. The public needs to stay clear of all buses at all times. What we need to take from this: a bus is a cheap option for transport that helps millions live day by day. The issue is the lack of awareness that buses can destroy many things. They can destroy houses, they can destroy cars, and they can even destroy lives.